A mom who kicked her kids out when they turned 18 is now trying to move in with them because she has no money. Her daughter posted to Reddit explaining that her mom refused to work when they were younger. And when her parents divorced, the mom remarried almost immediately and relied on her new, much older husband who died last year and left her with almost nothing. After the second husband passed away, the mom moved in with her son and his wife. She was supposed to watch their kids, but the mom failed to watch the kids and caused problems in the son's marriage, so the son kicked her out. And now, the mom wants to move in with this daughter, saying she will watch her 2-year-old grandchild. The daughter isn't interested, saying she knows it won't work because of how she was treated as a kid and because of her brother's experience. This daughter added that she and her brother were both kicked out of home at 18 right after they finished high school because, as their mom said, adult children should never live with their parents. When this daughter told her mom she wouldn't be allowing her to stay, she says her mom had a meltdown, saying she had nowhere to go and making accusations of providing for her daughter and son in times of need. Of course, that was her responsibility as a parent. The daughter told her mom, "You are a healthy, working-age person. You should not be freeloading," which is exactly what her mom told her when she was 18. It's not the daughter's responsibility to care for this woman who made her life difficult as a child. Getting rid of guilt, protecting your energy by creating space, and communicating with people you trust are all keys to healing from a poor relationship with a parent. It's time for this mom to take care of herself. As they say, what goes around comes around.
I'm just here thinking why the parents will kick out their 18-year-old when they know that they barely know anything. I know that they said 18 years is an adult, but these people are just stepping into adulthood. So they don't even know much about adulthood. Why send them out there where there are wolves, in sheep clothing? Anyway, guys, let's have the discussion. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section. You're welcome to the channel. Let's go watch these videos, then we'll come back and talk.
18, 19 years old, that's when they threatened to kick me out. And I called them on their bluff because they were serious. And so I was just like, I'm not going to stay here and wait out the clock. I'll just leave. And yeah, that's what happened. And let me promise you this. To every parent that decides to do this simply because they want to get rent out of them or teach them a lesson, it's never going to work out. Once that kid leaves.
This video is 100% true, and if you couldn't pick up the context from what he's saying, basically, parents who have this philosophy that the moment their kid turns 18, they start threatening them with, "I'm going to kick you out of the house, and you're going to have to pay rent," and all of these things. If your kid actually ends up taking you up on this offer and you kick him out, despite what you might think, I know you think you're teaching him a lesson. He'll understand when he gets older. He won't. They won't. I was kicked out when I was 16 or 17 for doing pretty typical teenage stuff. I threw a party, took my mom's car, a couple of things that, yes, they were bad, but they were fixable, in my opinion. Me and my mom have a great relationship now, but at the same time, a lot of things had to happen until I really kind of got over it. The thing is that when this happened, I got kicked out once when I was 16 and found a friend that was allowing me to live with her for over a year. And I tried to come back a year later. And once my parents knew that I had this option that would let me live with them, and they knew I was fully capable of doing it, it was always a threat. When I did try to come back, even for 5-6 months, no matter what I did, it could have been the most simple argument ever. And it was always a threat. If I was cooking and it was a little bit late and it annoyed them, they would say, I guess you just can't live here and maybe this isn't the place for you. But then my older sister, who is 4 years older than me, would, throw parties or throw up on the front lawn, and it never came up because they knew she couldn't live on her own. It's something you're probably always going to remember, and a part of me always will have slight trust issues. And, of course, like I said, some things have made up for it in my life. But this is a message to all parents that think that they are going to win this little war they're having with their kid by threatening to kick them out. All you're showing is that you never really wanted to be a parent. You were waiting for the absolute lowest point until you're legally not a parent anymore to just get rid of them. They were a problem. Oh, they're too stressful. You're actually so delusional to think that this is really going to teach them a lesson and not the fact that this is going to probably take off a huge burden off of your shoulders. And let's not pretend that this is actually for you. I don't know what to tell you. And trust me, that relationship that you had for your kid when your kid probably needed you the most and needed your support will be a direct reflection later on when you're probably going to need them. And no matter how many parents will say stuff like, well, I did do this thing, I did that, and that was really nice. We're not saying you did nothing, but sometimes you can still fall short even when you did a lot of things right. Especially in these situations where it makes you feel like they just gave up and you're just a burden to them. Before you kick your kid out, please think wisely. Am I going to regret this in 5 years? Because all of them do.
Let me explain the problem of kicking out your kids at the age of 18 instead of having them live at your house. I lived with my parents until the age of 26. It pisses me off that you call it privilege. I call it normal Italianity because it is embedded in our culture. So if your culture makes stupid choices, do not call me privileged. Simply look within. Back into this. So if from the age of 18 to the age of 26, I have to pay the average US rent $1,700 a month, which adds up to $20K a year. And from 18 to 26, they have to pay the average rent. You're making your kid $186,000 poorer than somebody who is living at his parents. Supposedly you want to teach them responsibility and stuff. Have them pay a little amount, I don't know, $500 a month. You are giving them the biggest financial present of their life. Oh, but they have to learn stuff themselves. At the age of 26, you have an extra $186,000. You actually learn how to invest it. You're not going to have $186,000 at 26. You're probably going to have closer to $500K. $186,000 is 2 down payments on the US average home. 20%, 20% down payments, the average US home, which means that at the age of 26, they have a job and everything, they could have 2 homes in their name, rented, making 2 extra incomes on top of their own. They could have a paid off car instead of paying $700 a month average car payment. They could pay their entire student tuition if they had to get a student loan. American society is expensive, but I believe that American culture, American family culture, is making the American lifestyle even more expensive to the young people. How did I buy a house at the age of 23? Exactly because I was living the Italian lifestyle in America, which on an entry-level salary still enabled me to save for a down payment on a house in just 1 year. Before telling that Europeans are privileged because they have family, perhaps look within your culture with some critical mind. Try to understand why your youth is so messed up financially and how we got there. I hear myself out.
My parents kicked me out yesterday because I won't get a job, but I'm just thinking, like, I'm only 29 years old. I'm only a child once. They need to stop rushing me to grow up. But anyway, I had to sleep out in their backyard last night because I didn't have anywhere to go. And it got freaking cold. It was like 40-something degrees. So when I left for work this morning, I just grabbed the spare key and came inside. I'm covered up now trying to warm up. But my mom texted me and she said she saw me come in on the Ring camera. And she told me that she forgot to set the chicken out of the freezer. And she asked me if I would get it out. And I said, oh, so when it's convenient for you, you want me inside of your house. But when it's an inconvenience, you put me out on the street. It makes me feel like she doesn't really care about me as a person. So I'm probably not going to set the chicken out because I'm just like, you're only okay with me being in here because I can do something for you. You need to take responsibility and do that for yourself.
At 29, even if you don't get a job, can you start a business? Can't you become a content creator? At least content creation is paying now. Can't you find something to do if you can get a job? I doubt it that at the age of 29, you can actually stay without a single job at least. And yeah, at least to support your mom. Well, you guys let me know what you think.
I am continually asked on here why all 3 of my children are still living at home at almost 18, 19, and 20. I'm going to explain it the best way I can. Number 1, they don't want to move out. They're happy here. We have fun together. We vibe. There's no chaos in our home other than your usual stuff, you know. My oldest daughter is training at her job to get certified. She's working 40 hours a week. Minimum wage here is like $15. My other 2 kids can't get a job more than part-time because no one wants to pay benefits. They can't get more than like 20, 30 hours a week max. And they're starting school in the fall. So say they bring home at 30 to 40 hours a week, $300 a week after taxes. That's $1,200 a month. You can't even get a 1-bedroom around here for under $1,800. You can't. Then you have car payment, $300, and you have car insurance for a new driver, $250. And of course, you have to eat at least 3 times a day. Damn. When I was 18, I worked at Nordstrom's, just bought a brand new car, had my own apartment, wasn't struggling at all. Those days are dead. My kids can stay here as long as they want to. As far as I'm concerned, we can all put our money together in a few years, go buy a bigger house, and stay together forever. There's nothing wrong with them living at home.
Thank you. At least there's one parent that really understands this whole thing. There's really nothing wrong living with your 18-year-old, okay? or above 18 years in the house, especially when they are good kids and they're also trying their best to, hustle, make sure they bring something to the house. Why throw them out at the age of 18? Who even started this culture in the first place? You guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, and please do subscribe to the channel.